Dr. Avi Loeb is a professor of astronomy at Harvard University and joins us to talk about this. Thank you so much for being with us. You know, to monitor astronaut health, space medicine apparently advancing wearable and completely contactless sensors. And those are tracking vital signs, load-bearing stress, biomarkers continuously, which kind of translates to a better hospital-at-home care model and early disease detection here on Earth. So do you see us being able to take the technology that they're using there and advance, technology for us here on Earth?
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for having me. I think it's about time, after 54 years, for us to get inspired by space. There has been a very long period of time, and most people who are watching this were not born in 1972. Apollo 17 was the last time. Indeed, technology evolved a lot. Most notably, recently, we have artificial intelligence. We've never used artificial intelligence in space. Artemis 2 is not using it yet, but I do forecast that it will be heavily used in future missions and help us guide future missions. And of course, the big goal here is eventually, this mission will just circle the moon, but eventually, ultimately, settle on the moon and put some infrastructure there. And that may include the nuclear reactor, so that we can use energy over there from that reactor. It may include also scientific instruments that we can put on the moon because it doesn't have much seismic vibrations. There is no atmosphere to obscure our view of the universe. So altogether, it's the next big frontier, and I very much hope that the young generation will be inspired by that and stop being addicted to digital screens or of terrestrial content. It's about time for us to look up.
Yeah, there is a real world out there. So yeah, what you're mentioning is that these missions have to face so many different and difficult situations that they're compelled to advance technology just to be able to do this. Right?
Definitely. And I do think that in order for the U.S. to maintain its technological and scientific superiority, we must be pioneering the path forward. Definitely before the Chinese do bring humans to the moon. They want to do it by the end of the 1930s, but we can do it earlier and we can do it better. And we will lead the way that the Apollo program did. And of course, there was a space race back then with the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Now it's with China.
Yeah, now it is. Absolutely. And I think that the timeline was actually pushed forward by the U.S. because of that space race, like it was previously.
Thanks to the vision of President Trump.
Yeah.
We now have a focus on this, and with the current NASA administrator, Jared Isaacman, I do see a very bright future ahead.
Yeah. Following the launch, the president took to Truth Social, that is, and he said this. He said, "We are winning in space, on Earth, and everywhere in between, economically, militarily, and now beyond the stars. Nobody comes close. America doesn't compete. We dominate, and the whole world is watching." The president really does seem to have made this a priority.
Yes. Well, the president was born at a time where, as a child, he witnessed the Apollo program, the inspiration that it brings, and I think that resonates with his policy. Another thing that could inspire us is if we discover extraterrestrial technological civilizations that either we can learn from or be inspired by. Yesterday, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who chairs the Federal Secrets Task Force, sent a letter to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and requested 46 video files related to sightings of unidentified anomalous phenomena. So I'm also quite inspired and excited about that because maybe we can learn from cosmic neighbors about new technologies. And again, the U.S. should be leading the way.
Wow. Well, if you find out anything, let me know, okay? Because I'm interested too.
Well, definitely. The last person who asked me was Steven Spielberg. He said that he's working on this movie that should come out in June. And if I do find anything, then he wants to be the first to know because it will inspire him to make a movie.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us. That was really fascinating. And the Spielberg angle is a very interesting one because people say this movie has they've been given information that many of us are not aware of yet. So we'll be watching that. Dr. Loeb, appreciate your time.
Information. Truth. is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.